You know, it's an unnecessary challenge to pick up the yellow card.
Stabbed on by Fabian Ruiz.
Williams. And again, you can see how wide Nico Williams is playing right out on this left-hand side. He's looking to drag João Neves away from Ruben Dias and create space, rather for himself, or if Neves comes too far, there's space in between the fullback and centre-half for other Spanish players.
It's a lovely little touch. Zubimendi to Yamal. Back into the danger area, and it's not been dealt with by João Neves. And Spain are in to pounce. Martin Zubimendi. It's only his second ever international goal.
I just mentioned it with Nico Williams about making the right attacking choices, and Lamine Yamal, when he picks the ball up, he's running at Nuno Mendes, could be selfish, could think about dropping a shoulder onto the left foot, shoot himself, he doesn't. You know, he puts the ball into the box, there's defensive disarray, it looks as if, I think Ruben Dias has dealt with the problem, but there's so many Spanish players swarming for it, eventually the ball is going to be tucked home. Again, there's that link I was talking about with Oyarzabal, just that ability just to know what's around him, great spatial awareness. Spain are away. And once that ball is clipped into the 6-yard box, then they have a big problem. Here's Yamal, right decision to put the ball in there. Ruben Dias is in big trouble, and there's so many yellow shirts in that Portuguese penalty area. Eventually the ball has to end up in the net. I think Ruben Dias just seems to lose his balance. Didn't seem to me as if he was fouled. I'm presuming that's what was being checked, but how swiftly Spain broke forward. Maybe they're looking at offside as well. Maybe as that ball's clipped forward, is there maybe a little flick on? And the referee VAR having a good look at this.
The goal stands. Martin Zubimendi, who didn't play in the semi-final. Luis de la Fuente putting him into the starting 11 tonight. And the Real Sociedad midfielder's goal stands and separates the teams midway through the first half here in Munich. It was just at this stage of the game on Thursday, midway through the 45, that Spain scored their opening goal against France too.
It's just the swiftness, how slick the attack was. But Zubimendi, the trust he has. You know, Oyarzabal, as that ball goes into the striker, he knows he's seen him, he knows the layoff's going to be right into his path, and he's away. He's a holding midfielder, remember, but he's freed up by that great link play from the centre forward.
Remember, Portugal went 1-0 down against Germany on Wednesday and came back to win that semi-final 2-1. Can Roberto Martinez's team catch that lightning in a jar again?
That's one thing really Spain, Oscar de la Fuente, have to guard against was defensive raggedness we saw in the latter stages against France. Maybe they just switched off because they were 5-1 up, but they conceded some soft goals, and in a final like this against a quality Portuguese side, you can't afford to be so disjointed and disorganised.
Clever flick from Lamine Yamal there to ensure the throw-in would be for Spain. Oscar Mingueza. Battling by Ronaldo Silva. Portugal can't hold on to it. A Spanish team which appears to thrive on confidence, and scoring that opening goal in the final is going to do them the world of good. João Neves tried his best, but he can't keep the ball in play.
You can guarantee about Spain, they look to sit back on the 1-0 lead. They're a team that just whatever the scoreline is, they look to score more goals. So I think Portugal, next maybe 5 minutes or so, just have to contain Spain, and you can't afford to go 2-0 down. Containing them is easier said than done. You've got a holding midfielder, you know, breaking forward and scoring the opening goal. Just shows how these Spanish players are interchangeable. You don't play set positions necessarily.
Popping it over the top for Nico Williams. Ruben Diaz trying desperately to keep up with that excellent defending. Not only wins the ball, plays it off the Spaniard for a Portuguese goal kick.
There's that problem again. Nico Williams getting in between a fullback and a centre-half. Ruben Diaz, the defensive line he runs is all important. It just enables him to get across Williams, and he puts all the onus on Williams to make the right decision. I don't think Nico Williams really ever decided what he was maybe looking to do there. Needs to get his shots away maybe earlier.
Bruno Fernandes, knocked on by Vitinha. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo, no flag. Pedro Neto. Clever. Nuno Mendes. Good pass.
So, so that was a good one.
Nuno Mendes takes center stage. It's the first ever international goal of his career. It's an absolute stunner.
Well, I mentioned Nuno Mendes, he's left back on the team sheet, but when they have the ball, Portugal, he's encouraged just to step up the pitch. It's a brilliant pick out from Pedro Neto, and he is afforded far too much time and space. Ronaldo gets involved. There's a question mark in the build-up as to whether he's offside or not. VAR will be looking at that, but once the ball is played back to Nuno Mendes, no one in the yellow shirt really steps out and engages with him. You see him just stepping forward. Everyone's watching the ball, no one's dealing with it, and once he just moves that ball, it's too easy for him to strike the ball across goal. It's a wonderful strike. It's clean, it's composed, goalkeeper no chance, but defensively not really good enough from Spain, but brilliant reaction from Portugal.
Video assistant referee this evening, Ferai San of Switzerland, still perusing the replays. Nuno Mendes, who was the joint top scoring defender in the Champions League this season, well able to score them for Paris Saint-Germain. Is this going to count as his first ever international goal? They are checking for potential offside leading up to the goal.
It has to be that forward runner, Cristiano Ronaldo.
The Portuguese cheers will tell you the check is over, the goal stands. Portugal won, Spain won.
Portugal again just showing how effective they can be. We saw that against Germany, less of the ball, more of the threat. In this game it's been the Spaniards who've dominated the ball, but Portugal, and when they get into areas they are again so effective. They get bodies in the box, they get fullbacks forward, it causes teams problems. So it's not a case of having more of the ball than their opponents. Portugal, it's making good use of it when they do.
Spain's lead only lasted 5 minutes of game time. But this stirs the pot nicely, Andy. This will only increase the chances of this final getting even more entertaining now.
Well, hopefully, absolutely. But again, go back to that bit of defending from Ruben Diaz against Williams. How important was that now? Again, he stood his ground. He didn't give Williams a chance to get a shot in.
Lamine looking for Williams! And the onrushing Diogo Costa, the presence of the goalkeeper, enough to see Nico Williams steer it wide.
I'm looking at that Portuguese defensive line, and virtually all of them are looking at the ball. No one's looking at the forward run. There's Ronaldo's run, and clearly he is onside as that ball is played to him. That's why the goal stands.
By the skin of his teeth. Nuno Mendes gives it away. Bernardo Silva gets it back. Conceição. Ronaldo Silva. Now Vitinha. Really clever pass from Pedro Neto to pick out Nuno Mendes for the goal. Here is Neto. Ruben Diaz. Conceição. Suddenly the Portuguese body language, has more confidence. Good interception though by Nomau. For all Spain's possession, this Nations League final, level at 1-1.
Just going back to that Nuno Mendes goal, the wider coaches, modern coaches, want fullbacks to step into midfield if they can, or break forward if they can. We're seeing it here with João Neves and Nuno Mendes, because again they're really hard to pick up. Fullbacks stepping into midfield, who tracks them, who picks them up? There's a lack of communication defensively. Those players can hugely influence games, and that's what we see time and again with Nuno Mendes.
Beaten in the sprint. Simon very pleased the ball arrived inside his penalty area in time. Looking again for Nico Williams. Not many up with him. Entry to the centre. Williams gets the corner.
That's good defending from João Neves. It's not his natural position, right back, but all you can do in a position like that, your back's into your own penalty area. Stay on your feet, watch the ball, try and block the cross. Don't commit yourself and make the attacker's mind up for him.
Williams. Pedri. That's a great angle. That was so dangerous, the delivery. Bruno Fernandes hasn't been able to fully clear. Portugal relieved that is outside the penalty area, but immediately it returns. Ruben Dias jumps well. Nuno Mendes. Ronaldo just about strong enough, but he can't hold on to possession either. Swapping wings for the moment. But greeted by Francisco Conceição.
Oh, what a ball in that was by Pedri. Flat pace, he beats the first man. Goalkeeper can't come and deal with it. It's a horrible cross to try and defend.
Pedri. Mingueza. Takes his eye off it for an instant, and Pedro Neto was able to pick his pocket. Down he goes. Free kick to Portugal, and another yellow card. This time for Fabian Ruiz.
Well, the counter-attack was on. He just hangs a leg out. Takes out Pedro Neto. There's the pace, the blistering pace that he has that he can use on the counter-attack, and Ruiz is nowhere near the ball. He's caught off balance, just sticks out that left leg, and the play's developing like that. A counter-attack is on, and you catch an attacker, take him out, you know what's coming.
One goal each in Munich, one yellow card each too. Cap tonight for Bruno Fernandes. Too high for Ruben Dias. Will be disappointed by his standards with that. Bruno Fernandes, who this past week has been voted Manchester United's Player of the Year for a disappointing season, but fourth year that he has won that accolade at Old Trafford.
This is why the Spanish goal stood. There was no touch, that ball goes in, there's no flick-ons, there's no offside, there's no foul on Ruben Dias. No reason to disallow the goal. What a strike though from Nuno Mendes, again given far too much time and space with his left foot. You know what's going to happen. Drilled shot across the goalkeeper, perfection.
Week that Nuno Mendes is having here at the Munich Arena, winning the Champions League final last weekend, scoring in the Nations League final tonight. He wants a free kick here. He's not going to get it because he was offside.
Again, you look at his position there, his attacking position. He's left back. They have the ball in their defensive line, and their left back is, furthest up the pitch. He is offside. He's gone slightly too early, but again, the freedom he's given, Roberto Martinez gives him to affect the game, that athleticism and quality. He wants it high up the pitch.
Evidence of the incredible high defensive line deployed by Spain there, that Nuno Mendes was cut offside 1 yard inside the opposition half.
Yeah, just Spain wants to press high up the pitch, so the whole team moves to the halfway line, so there is space in behind to exploit.
João Neves. Ronaldo Silva. 10 minutes remaining of normal time in the first half. Vitinha. Pedro Neto up against Mingueza. Stepping down on the gas, but Mingueza was able to match him stride for stride. Vitinha.
Defending there from Mingueza, because if he tries to win the ball, dives in, if he gives a free kick away, he just stays shoulder to shoulder with Pedro Neto and forces him backwards.
Neto. Again, Mingueza gets tight. Ronaldo was waiting for it to come from Pedro Neto's cross onto the roof of the net.
Once again, Mingueza, who does the right thing, doesn't commit himself too early, but then makes it really difficult for Neto to get a quality cross in. Good concentration, good body position, just leans into his man. That's why the ball goes on the wrong side of the crossbar. It's good defending from the fullback. Not easy against someone as quick as Pedro Neto.
Tonight, by the way, is only the second time that Roberto Martinez has come up against his native Spain in international football. His first ever match in charge of Belgium was against Spain. He lost that one 2-0. Nico Williams, nice spin on that. Good lead by Inacio. Pedri tries to pen in Nuno Mendes. Goes out for the Portuguese throw.
Really good defensive positioning there from Inacio. He knew where the ball was, but most importantly, he knew where Oyarzabal was behind him as well, and didn't get kind of drawn towards the ball, so there was space for the striker to get into. He held his ground, so that enabled him to get the header in.
Last touch came off the Spaniard. Inacio. No man beats Ronaldo. And here come Portugal, who are growing in stature in this final all the time. Pedro Neto. Vitinha. Looks expansively towards Francisco Conceição. João Neves.
I suppose we shouldn't be that surprised that Portugal responded well to going behind. They did magnificently well. That's the key factor really in the game against Germany, their response to conceding the first goal.
Pedro Neto crosswise with Bruno Fernandes. Lamine Yamal, who's yet to fully sparkle in this final, picks out Pedri. Still at play. Yamal. Pedri. Cucurella. Conceição into the back of Cucurella. It's been a right tangle between those two tonight. It's going to be a free kick to Spain. Perhaps Francisco Conceição a bit relieved there's no further action there.
He is very lucky not to be yellow carded for that, because it's just barging into the back of Cucurella, nowhere near the ball.
Fabian Ruiz. Nico Williams. Yamal. Mingueza. lead in the 21st minute. Spain have been weathering a storm ever since. And Mingueza here. Spain robbed of possession by Bernardo Silva. It's a free kick to Portugal. Bernardo Silva wanted a card too.
Yeah, you can see the Portuguese game plan. I'm just saying to Spain, we'll get ourselves defensively sit up. It'll look fairly passive. We'll sit fairly deep. If we can pinch the ball off you or there's a heavy touch, then we can snap in and play on the counter-attack. I did feel after Portugal conceded, it was probably more of a containment job for the rest of the first half, but they got the equaliser and they look a little bit more comfortable defensively now with what Spain are throwing at them.
Tonight is Bernardo Silva's 26th appearance in the Nations League. It's significant because it brings him level with the Italian goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma as the player who's made the most appearances in this competition, as Lamine Yamal wins it back again.
You have to wonder how much ground Bernardo Silva's covered in those games, because he's an incredibly hard-working player.
Zubimendi, Hausen, Pedri, Yamal. So much scrutiny and attention around the teenager in the build-up to this final. João Neves to Vitinha. Sao and Cucurella resume hostilities. Yamal looking for a pocket of space. And Bernardo Silva keen to ensure Yamal can't turn onto that left boot with any sort of periphery around it. Here he is again. Challenged by Cristiano Ronaldo this time. The old warrior up against the young gun there. It's Cristiano Ronaldo who got the better of it, but it's Yamal who gets possession ultimately. Came off the back of Inacio. Awkward for João Neves. Here's Cucurella. What a touch. Oyarzabal. Williams. That is a rash challenge by Oyarzabal. It is going to be a free kick to Portugal. Spain are throwing everything they can at the Portuguese here, but Roberto Martinez's defence are hanging on.
Yeah, it's just a free kick and nothing more. There's not a booking in there at all. Portugal doing well, responding well, because Spain just stepped the tempo up, we're zipping the ball around, and it's very important defensively that you get the basics right, individually, collectively. You stay together, you stay on your feet and watch the ball. You don't get sucked in when a team is really moving that ball around lightning quick. One mistake, one lack of concentration, and they'll punish you.
Half-time almost upon us in Munich.
Well, thankfully it's been the half we probably expected of the final. We've had goals, we've had incident. Two very different ways of playing in terms of how much possession the two sides have had. Spain with much more, looking dangerous when they go forward, but only what, 40% possession in Portugal in their game plan. You can see what it is, and when they do get forward, they're so effective, and it's a way that they can win the game.
Vitinha, who's added plenty of thrust to Portuguese midfield tonight. And Ronaldo's flick on, there's no free kick for Bernardo Silva. Oyarzabal slips it in beyond Diogo Costa. In the blink of an eye, Spain break from inside their own half to the Portuguese penalty area. And the man who scored the winning goal in the Euro 2024 final last year gives Spain the lead again just before half-time in the Nations League final.
Well, the Portuguese are complaining that there was a foul in the build-up. That will be looked at, of course, but I mentioned Oyarzabal and what he brings to this Spanish side in terms of his work rate, his movement, his attacking intelligence, his spatial awareness, positional play. I think there is some contact there on Bernardo Silva. To me, he's not knocked to the ground, so I feel play should go on. But when they come sweeping punches, look at the movement from Oyarzábal, the timing of it. You've got Inacio watching the ball, you've got a striker on the move. And defensively, that is an absolute nightmare. If you don't know what's going on behind you, you're in big trouble. But the finish as well is absolutely sublime. He sees where the goalkeeper is and just dinks it past him. He is a sensational striker. He has a habit of scoring in big games. Wonderful movement, brilliant finish.
It's a world-class touch. And the timing of it, so important. The goal stands, the check is over. Spain back in front again, just on the cusp of half-time.
It just shows you give the ball away, but look at how the urgency, the intent that Spain play with. When that ball is overturned, Bernardo Silva is out of the game, the midfielder's missing from those central areas, and Spain just sweep forward. And again, they pick the right pass. The timing of the run, though, is all important, and the finish is sublime, and they can just slice you open when you give that ball away.
And he breaks a few records with that. Mikel Oyarzábal becomes the first player to ever score in 2 Nations League finals. Scored against France in 2021. No Spanish player has ever scored in 3 major finals, but Mikel Oyarzábal moves ahead of Fernando Torres, who scored in 2 Nations League finals and the Euro 2024 final. He is the man for the big nights, the big moments.
I think it's Bruno Fernandes who maybe just comes in here and catches Oyarzábal. Fernandes just pleading his innocence there, but he maybe just catches him. Nothing too malicious in it. It is a foul, but I mean nothing more. I think Portugal will be absolutely devastated. They defended pretty well, but just look at the timing of the run from Oyarzábal. Ruben Dias plays him on, and that's attacking intelligence. It's not all about physicality and aggression. It's about intelligence with the run, with the finish, causing big centre halves real problems with your movement.
Spanish fans getting so used to success, and they want it to continue. After a fiery opening 45 minutes in Munich, it is Spain who go to the changing rooms in front. So much attention on Lamine Yamal, but it's Zubimendi and Oyarzábal who have stepped up to grab the headlines so far. Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal will hope there's a big second act to come. For now, Portugal 1, Spain 2.
The UEFA Nations League, the gift that just keeps on giving. A lively first half of action from 2 teams where you wouldn't think these groups of players have just played a full season of football. They are right up for this in Munich, and it is 2-1 to Spain. That man again, the player of football. They are right up for this in Munich, and it is 2-1 to Spain. That man again, the player for the big occasion. Scored against England in the Euros final. Scored against tonight against Portugal. Any opportunity for Ronaldo to flex the pecs, he takes it. Is he going to get on the score sheet? That is the question. I'm in the company of Didier Domi and Adeline Guidioura. Guys, our thoughts on what we've seen from that first half? I'll start with you, Adeline.
This UEFA Nations League gives us good surprises, and it's very entertaining. 3 goals already in the first half. I think Spain were the better side at the beginning. When they scored, we might thought that they're gonna keep scoring goals and score the second. But Portugal, they are a resilient team. They are a team that always come back, and they didn't play that well. They lost many balls, especially in the midfield part. And Spain, just before halftime, scoring, making them the real contender to be the winner. But they had many chances. I think three chances, not so clear, but you could see they have the domination, they have the ball, and they could score more, definitely.
Spain, certainly the more dominant of the two, and you get the impression they've even got another gear to go up in. Let's have a look at that first goal. Zubimendi opening the scoring in the 21st minute. Didier, your thoughts on this?
Look at Oyarzábal first, that flick, for Zubimendi is fantastic, and we've seen a lot of that. Yamal, those little cross, not big, but it was the timing. And the fact that 3 against 2, when you look at, what's his name, the other, Ignacio, look, it's 3 against 2. Where is Ignacio? Where is the others? Joao Neves is coming back, Ruben Diaz is there, but where is Ignacio? So the run is good, but the others, the sitter and Ignacio, they are too far. So obviously after that's a ping pong, but that's a great pass, and because there are 3, everything can happen. And then Joao Neves tried to clear it, and Zubimendi is still there. But
Costa a little bit hesitant as well in that moment, the Portugal goalkeeper.
Yes, timing, slightly late, of course. So it's just timing. When you look at Yamal, timing of the pass was really good, but as well, the goalkeeper, need maybe half a second to be there, and the fact that they were outnumbered as well, it's Bauman Zubimendi, a little bit of chance here.
Yeah, Arsenal fans be delighted with what they've seen there. Zubimendi, they say, is a done deal. He'd be heading to the Emirates next season from Real Sociedad, and he looks a player. Liverpool were in the hunt for him, of course, last summer. Didn't get his signature. And what about the equaliser? Question marks over whether Ronaldo was offside, but can't take away from the finish from Mendes.
That's incredible. He's been the man in form in this left-hand side, and what a strike, clear strike. I'm a bit surprised with the Spanish defenders that they didn't come close to him to meet him and try to block the shot or let him enter the box. But you still have to score that goal. And
Ronaldo does look offside here, but deceptive. And of course VAR would have had the intel and taken a look. Was checked, took a while.
You could see there's the little gap. And Nuno Mendes felt it. Then you cannot have him taking a little bit of speed.
Watch Ronaldo, Didier. Some things never change. Still pull on his ear. Let him know.
Wow.
And semi-automated offside doing its job.
Wow.
He's been close in the semi-final. Now in the final, he's been close as well. He knows how to make his run, actually.
Yeah, he really does.
And this can make the difference because it's 2 goals at the end. But we were expecting more about Ronaldo and Yamal, and I think we didn't see much of them apart of a bit of Yamal, but Ronaldo was not too much present here.
It's funny, we talk about players and we talk about the big name players and we do it in every final, but it's this guy who seems to always show up.
It's been fantastic, especially the runs that he's doing. First of all, he press high the defender. He gives options to his teammates.
Portugal wanted a foul here, that on Bernardo Silva.
It was a contact, but not clear one, I think. But here as well, straight. It could have been offside. It could have been in, but great run from him inside the box. And I think the goalkeeper should have done a bit better in here because he was not clear. He went too much on the left and opened the goal for him.
Yeah.
I think there was a problem with a little bit with the defense of Portugal. Both goals, this is different at the start, but they come with a run. You understand? So the midfield was a little bit outnumbered. When you come with speed, obviously, it's become a little bit difficult. So the first goal was in the box, they didn't defend well, and now it was that run, it was timed at the perfection. So, but when you look at the game, all the chances that they had. Don't forget, Nico Williams. The fact that they were attacking more with long ball and then attacking through the center. I think Spain deserves, the lead. Yeah.
All 3 shots on target resulted in a goal. We've got a few more Spain chances for you as well. Pedri here. Nico Williams, lightning. Scare the life of defenders. That one coming close early on.
The first 20 minutes, they were using that a lot. Those long balls from the right coming to Nico Williams. And I don't think Joao Neves is a right back. That's the wrong wrong choices.
Why is he playing him there then?
No, because Joe Neves is playing like that in League One when you've got the ball. And he can go into the midfield, just add a little bit more a numerical superiority. He can't do that because most of the time, they're defending. So he's not a proper right back. So he's having a lot of problem in position as well. Sometimes it's too inside, sometimes it's too forward, and it's easy for Nico Williams.
What impressed me as well is the fact that Spain project themselves very quick forward. So they end up in the box or around the box 1v1. I feel that Portuguese midfielder, like you mentioned, they're not making the run back to protect their defense. So this allows Spanish player to attack and have an occasion to score.
Okay, well, earlier we were treated to an absolute classic from Paris at Roland Garros. This is Sinner, went 2 sets up against defending champ Alcaraz, who managed to take it in the 5th in a tie-break. It was an epic, and this was how the Spaniard reacted.
I want to start with Yannick. It is amazing the level you have. Congratulations for an amazing 2 weeks, amazing tournament. To you, to your team, I know the hard work you're putting every day. It is huge. Honestly, I know how hard you're chasing this tournament or every tournament. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be champion. Not once, but many times. It's a privilege to share the court with you in every tournament, making history with you. I'm just really happy to be able to make history with you in this tournament, in other tournaments. You are a huge inspiration for the young kids, for everyone, for myself as well. I have to say thank you to you for being such a great inspiration. So good luck and all the best for what's coming.
5-time Grand Slam champion. Wow, what a player we have in Carlos Alcaraz. Well, yesterday we had World Cup qualifiers. England against Andorra, leaving England fans feeling incredibly despondent after what was a lacklustre performance from England. Here's the England manager, Thomas Tuchel, reacting to that result.
No, I said I didn't like the attitude, how we ended the game. So it was a big difference. I liked the attitude, how we started the game. The first 25 minutes, but I didn't like the last 25 minutes and the last half an hour. I think we lacked the seriousness and the urgency that is needed in a World Cup qualifier. I think we played with fire, and I didn't like the attitude in the end. I didn't like the body language, and I think it was not what the occasion needed. I think that we can and have to do better over the 90 minutes. We played 25 minutes where I had the feeling it's a matter of time when we create a chance, it's a matter of time when we score. But we lost this momentum completely. And the last 20 minutes of the first half started okay again, 15 minutes maybe in second half, and lost this momentum again.
Didn't like the attitude of the players, either did England fans, especially those who made the trip all the way to Barcelona. It was just soulless from the England players against Andorra. You're playing a team who are really the 5th tier of Spanish football, essentially, and you could just scrape past them 1-0, did you? Does it matter how England get to the World Cup?
It matters, of course, yeah. It's because it's always a step just to forward, to progress, as a team. Not even individually, but most collectively. And obviously, when you have a team like Andorra, well, we know it's going to be a 5-4-1. It's going to be difficult, but yes, in some movement, in some attitude, in some quality. Obviously, of course, you should do better. I remember France a long time ago, 25 years ago. It was a 1-0 in Andorra, so it's not easy sometimes. Depend the mood. It's the end of the season. It's June, but still, that's England. When I've seen the first 11 with Bellingham, Kane, and Palm, you have to do better. Obviously, you have to create chances. You have to be more consistent. The movement has to be better. It's just when you play Andorra, sometimes you have a switch of 5, 10, 15% of motivation sometimes for all the game, and that's what happened. That's why I didn't like the second half,
Okay, well, some breaking news from the European football world. Robert Lewandowski has just announced that he will not play for Poland while current manager Michał Probierz is in charge. They have a huge qualifier against Finland on Tuesday, so big news from the Polish striker, an absolute superstar, 36-year-old, but as we know, still producing the goods for Barcelona. 85 goals he scored for Poland. I imagine the manager will be the one to go if it comes between him and the striker. Can Portugal pull it back?
I think so. I think they still have they are equipped to come back. You can see Neves is coming on, so Martinez is taking decision early in the game, and he wants his team to rack in the second half and score more goals and kill the game. But when you lose too many balls in the midfield, and this is what I think he realized, that's why he wants to put Neves and have more balls.
Semedo looks like he's coming on as the right back.
Joe Neves is not a right back, and Ruben Neves, they need a little bit more stability in the midfield. When you play with Vitinha and Bernardo, you see that Spain was trying to attack on the left on Joao Neves, which was the weaker point. Then they were trying to, and they did it through the center by those little tiki-taka, because Bernardo Silva and Vitinha really good going forward to keep the ball, and they didn't keep it enough. So they attacked it here. So you need to be more stable defensively, to have a little bit more aggressivity in the midfield and to have a natural right back. So that's pretty normal. But why did you do it in the first place? That's the thing,
They do lose. Martinez will be heavily criticised for that tactical approach. So Joao Neves off. Nelson Semedo, a right back who played in that 2019 final, on. Change of system perhaps, because Conceição off and Ruben Neves on.
Yeah, maybe it will be 3, but they will defend better, yeah.
And when you have a proper right back, you want to have a right back in his position to play and go forward.
Especially against the pace of Spain, with these two flying at you now.
Oh yeah, you need someone who's got a proper habits of defending. Because Joao Neves sometimes, the distance between him and his midfield, the distance between him and Ruben Dias wasn't the right one. That's why they had this long ball from the right to the left and played direct into Nico Williams. And that's Nico Williams. That's not the number 10 you put on the wing. That's a proper winger. So, no, it was a wrong choice, because when you have Joao Neves as a right back, is to put him sometimes in the middle. When he can go, he can play with Vitinha or Bernardo Silva, but Spain's most of the ball, so you cannot have him as a proper right back. Therefore,
what are these three discussing?
How are they going to kill it in the second half?
How are they going to get the job done?
I think if they score another goal, it will be almost done. If Yamal scores this one next, it will be for him a release, because he's been good. He gives some good balls, but he needs his shot off or create a real chance for him, and I'm sure he will put the ball on the back of the net. But Spain, they are really good. I was impressed the fact that they always go more vertical than before, and this is the thing that we are seeing more into the Spanish team, definitely.
Oyarzabal, he's been precious the last. He took over Morata. He's he take the space. He dropped really well at the right time when he goes into the middle. We've seen him in the first goal. He pressed really high, and it's not a player who scored a lot in Real Sociedad. No more than 13 goals maximum in La Liga. But with Spain, he's so intelligent. He's very instrumental and really precious because he moved everywhere at the right time. So he's perfect for Williams and Yamal.
Led up the Euros in the inspired decision by Luis de la Fuente. Well, Spain left Portugal hanging a little bit there, but they're all on the pitch. Let's head back to our commentary team. Here's Andy Hinchcliffe and Conor McNamara for the second half.
There have been two changes over the break, both for Portugal. Nelson Semedo has come on at right back in place of João Neves. And Ruben Neves, who started the semi-final against Germany, has come on for Francisco Conceição.
Yeah, I think the first of those changes, Semedo, one for João Neves, makes sense. I recognise right backs try and deal with Nico Williams and get forward when you can, but Conceição, that's an interesting change. More struggling up against Marc Cucurella. Is there an injury there? Is he worried about maybe the player getting booked or possibly sent off? So an interesting change, but I think Martinez had to do something. He's made those two changes.
Looks like Bernardo Silva has taken a more advanced role after this switch in personnel. Here's Pedri for Spain. Zubimendi. Fabian Ruiz. Timing of the second Spanish goal tonight so significant, coming as it did just before the break. Portugal have already shown tonight they can come from one goal down. Can they do it again? Mingueza. Zubimendi. Bernardo Silva nearly won it off Fabian Ruiz. Lindoma. Zubimendi. Spain playing through the Portuguese press. Cucurella. Nico Williams has got a different defender up against him now in the shape of Nelson Semedo.
Spain have such talented technical players that at times they would maybe encourage the press because they just back themselves to play through it.
Clever from Williams, allowed it carried through to Cucurella, who's kept it in play. Hausen. Stretching Ruben Neves. That's what he's been brought into the team to do, to try and disrupt the Spanish flow.
Yeah, I think he's going to play as the deepest lying. Portugal's three central midfielders, so when they have the ball, that'll encourage Bruno Fernandes and Vitinha to play slightly higher, but at the moment Portugal's struggling to get on the ball.
Two disappointed faces, João Neves and Francisco Conceição there, who I'm sure would both have loved to be still involved in the action. This is Ruben Diaz. Bruno Fernandes. Oh, he's done really well here to get it back from Pedro Neto! Bruno Fernandes! Offside, however. As the ball came back to him, he was in an offside position.
Well, his finish is absolutely stunning. That ball is, I think, flicked forward. Is that where the problem is? But he catches the goalkeeper out quite brilliantly, just whipping it into the near post. They've got a second equaliser, not to be.
Well, that's the template for Portugal. That's how you do it. Can they do it again?
Portugal will be disappointed that goal's been disallowed, but that's the advanced positions that really they need Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha to be in. They might not have a lot of the ball, but when they do get it, can they get those two players in particular to get up the pitch and at times get as close to Ronaldo as they can?
Bruno Fernandes has come out really fired up with his second half. It's Cucurella. Space now, Zubimendi. Pedri. Yamal. Yamal. Immediately stopped by Nuno Mendes. Portugal do not want to allow Spain's wonder kid get up ahead of steam. Portuguese fans, Cucurella unable to keep the ball in play. There is still fight, there is still belief amongst this Portuguese team. It can be disheartening when you go behind to a team of the quality of Spain, but Portugal have got to still believe. Ronaldo met by Lenoma. Mingueza. Gets the better of Lamine Yamal again. Nuno Mendes has been hurt. Portugal play on. Ruben Diaz. Semedo. Bernardo Silva. He's taken up the position where Conceição was playing in the first half. Howson. Straight to Bruno Fernandes. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. Pedro Neto took a deflection all the way through and not only guided it closer to Unai Simon.
It's going to be difficult for Portugal. Large portions of this second half, they're going to be watching Spain just keep the ball. It can be really frustrating, but when they get it back, as we saw in the first half, they've got to be so clinical and effective.
Fabian Ruiz beaten to it by Vitinha. Cucurella does well for Spain. Oyazabal. Zubimendi. Pedri to Yamal. Williams. No foul. Vitinha. Bernardo Silva. Neves. Oh, he was ready to drill it in. Portugal felt there may have been a handball. Nelson Semedo stopped by Cucurella. But it was going to be a Portuguese throw.
Yes, Lenormand, I think if it steps out and gets the block in, he seems to have his hands close to his body though.
Neto. Slide by Lenormand. Yamal to Zubimendi. Spain look to reassert control. Mingueza. Neat triangular passing. Yamal. Spotted the one being made by Fabian Ruiz. Just couldn't thread it through. Silky skills from Nuno Mendes. Well, he's up against one of the trickiest customers on the planet in Lamine Yamal, but Nuno Mendes has got a few tricks up his sleeve as well. No foul on Ronaldo. Referee says play on. Bernardo Silva glad to do so. Vitinha. Diaz with the attempted cross, and Portugal will remain on the attack. Cucurella just received a blow to the face, and that's the play to be held up for just a moment.
At times for defenders, painful. There to block shots, block crosses, does his job. It's a ball in the face though. Brilliant bit of skill, Nuno Mendes. I played left back, but I think Nuno Mendes plays that position slightly differently than I did. I played left back. I'm not sure what position he's actually playing, because it certainly isn't left back.
Nelson Semedo. Pedri. Spain so relaxed, even inside their own penalty area. Housen eventually decides to slam it away. It's worked out well for Spain. Nico Williams leaves Ronaldo Silva behind. Stopped though by Vitinha. Bruno Fernandes. Cristiano Ronaldo. We leave it a little bit. Lando Man was in. He saw the hesitation. Sensed the opportunity. Pedri. Fabian Ruiz. He was spinning. It was slightly awkward for Diogo Costa.
Yeah, it's a shot the goalkeeper's never going to collect, but Oyarzabal is closing in there, so the keeper bats that ball down, parries it down. There's a tap in there, so it was a strong save. He pushed the ball away.
Neves' attempted pass is blocked out. Oyarzabal. Pedri. Zubimendi. Attempts to pick out Lamine Yamal. Portuguese pressure on the Spanish midfield continues to tell. This was the attempt from Fabian Ruiz.
The goalkeeper's in a good position, sees it all the way, should save that, but it's how he actually, if you can't collect it, where do you knock it to? So knock it wide, knock it with a bit of power as well, keep it away from any striker following up.
To Ronaldo.
There's a really disciplined defensive line that Spanish are holding at times. Because of the press in midfield, they can squeeze up, and that's why Ronaldo is caught offside.
Mingueza. Pedri. Spain, a team that really trust each other in possession. Even if a teammate is closely marked, they still receive a pass. They trust alone to do with it. Fabian Ruiz here, that's a good ball. Cucurella. No sign of Nelson Semedo. Williams was arriving. Couldn't take it with him.
Bernardo Silva got caught out badly there as Cucurella stepped forward. Bernardo Silva should track him back. He didn't, he was caught watching the ball, and a decent position, decent opportunity really for Spain.
So goes Cristiano Ronaldo. The referee says that Dean Housen got the ball. The final that Cristiano Ronaldo is desperate to make an impact in. Is the big opportunity going to fall his way tonight?
The one thing with Ronaldo, he has that mental strength. At his age, he can't go tearing around the pitch, but he won't have 4 or 5 opportunities. We saw against Germany, he might just have the one. You've got to be ready for that one. The age that he is, the type of player that he is, mentally, you've got to be so tuned in and not heavily involved in the game, but suddenly, are you ready when the time comes? And invariably he is.
Cristiano Ronaldo, who had 46 caps by the time Lamine Yamal was born, which is quite remarkable. Feels like we are witnessing a bit of time travel tonight. Players of different eras almost colliding. And Ronaldo keen to remind us he's still very much part of this one. Bernardo Silva. Nelson Semedo. Ruben Diaz. Spain just taking a little breather here. There's no press. They are content for Portugal to have possession in this central third. By the way, at this stage on Thursday, Spain were 4-0 up against France in the semi-final. There's a few little twists in that tale before the end, but very much a different lead they hold tonight. Again, Nuno Mendes away from Lamine Yamal. And it's he waited. He bided his time. He believed that the chance would come. For the second time tonight, Portugal have come from behind to draw this final level at 2-2. Lamine Yamal couldn't prevent the attack. Cristiano Ronaldo made it count.
But also look at Mingueza. He steps in with Pedro Neto, and that is the space then that Nuno Mendes exploits. I just mentioned about Ronaldo. You won't have 5-6 chances in the game. One will come along. There's a little nudge there on Cucurella. He doesn't foul him, but he just gets everything right. He's in the right place. He's strong. And it's just that nudge finish, that's all it takes. So again, the mental strength of the man is extraordinary. But just that one defensive lapse, a right back stepping in, Lamine Yamal not staying with his man, space opens up, and Portugal are level.
Goal number 138 in international football. There are some minor nations that haven't scored 138 goals as a team. The incredible story of Cristiano Ronaldo continues to create new chapters. That is now 8 goals in 9 games during this Nations League campaign for Portugal's incredible number 7. Luis de la Fuente is back all square again.
Also with Ronaldo, with his age, he's had to adapt to become a very different player. But also, go about Portugal as a team, they understand that their talisman is not the player that he was, but can you still maybe create those 1 or 2 opportunities for him? Because, as I said, invariably he sticks the ball in the back of the net. So give the team a lot of credit behind Ronaldo for creating those chances for him.
The most goals any player has ever scored in the Nations League is Erling Haaland with 19. Next top goal scorer, Serbia's Alexander Mitrovic at 15. And Ronaldo's now joined him as Pedri looks to get Spain in front again. And it's a brilliant block by Nuno Mendes, who's having a quite brilliant night for Portugal.
Well, Pedri doesn't have the pace to run away from defenders. He's got a twist and turn. Brilliant defending from the left back, though.
Spain have had their feathers ruffled here. What's the response going to bring? Diogo Costa hasn't fully cleared. Coutinho will send it further away. Free kick to Portugal for the foul of Pedro Neto.
Well, that Ronaldo goal, of course, it's brought Portugal level, but it's just ignited the game and much more of a contest now. But Pedri's in a great position. Hasn't got the pace to run away. So Nuno Mendes, normally defenders are taught don't turn your back on the ball. He does, but it's just so quick. He gets back into a good defensive position to get the block in. So Nuno Mendes, we've seen him going forward, he's devastating, but he's a defender. He did a brilliant job there.
Bernardo Silva tries to get away from Fabio Ruiz, is taken down by Marc Cucurella.
does step across him, Cucurella. I think he's right, Cucurella, because Bernardo Silva does seem to feel a bit of contact and then throw himself to the ground, but he's got what he wanted.
Free kick for Portugal. Just over 25 minutes of normal time to play. A reminder, if this UEFA Nations League final is level at the end of 90 minutes, it will be half hour of extra time tonight. Penalties if necessary, but one way or the other, we're going to get a winner tonight between this Iberian pair.
It's amazing what goals can do for a team. The Portuguese players now believe the fans behind that goal. They truly believe their team can go on and win this.
Momentum, such an important commodity in football, and Portugal might well believe they hold the momentum at the moment. Bruno Fernandes to take. As soon as he falls to the ground by Ruben Diaz, Houston hit the deck too. The throw-in is being delayed just while the video assistant referee has a look to see if there is any case for a potential penalty here.
Yeah, it's actually Zubamendi. Does he just grab the Ruben Diaz's shirt?
Quick decision, check over. They had a look at it, but no penalty.
I've seen this a lot from defenders in free kick situations. You're grabbing hold of each other. It's such a risky game to play.
Bernardo Silva, electric atmosphere here in Munich. Bruno Fernandes deflected it to the arm to the goalkeeper.
Portugal look at a different team. That Ronaldo goal has given them such a massive lift. They're on the front foot now. They're squeezing Spain. Very different contest.
Bruno Fernandes, who has scored 21 goals for club and country this season. Can he produce one more in this Nations League final tonight? Spain catch a second wind. Zubamendi pirouettes away for Bruno Fernandes. This is Cucurella. Pedri. Of defensive work being expended in midfield by Portugal here. They sense Spain might be vulnerable, but history tells us this team can often be at their most dangerous when they appear vulnerable.
Yeah, the one thing Spain won't do is panic. They'll just try and get back into their passing rhythm.
Houston picks out Cucurella. Now Williams. Zubamendi, Fabian Ruiz. Where's it to Pedri? And this is Lamine Yamal. Cristiano Ronaldo waited for his big moment tonight. Can Spain's young superstar catch a bit of the glory too? Mingueza. Then Norman. Midway through the second half now. Pedri. Cucurella. Housen. Mingueza. Pedri. Great ball. Williams uses Cucurella as a decoy. Oh, Diogo Costa was scrambling a little bit there. Much relieved to see the shot from Nico Williams go off target.
Yeah, they're really patient, Spain. There must be, 20-odd passes there. It's a difficult chance you're running away from goal. There's the equaliser. Mingueza stepping in there with Pedro Neto. Didn't need to do that. Let the ball go into Pedro Neto. Don't step forward. Create the space for Nuno Mendes to exploit. There's Ronaldo. No surprise. Right place, right time. Williams shot. It's patient from Spain. It's a difficult opportunity. He's not had much of the ball really, Nico Williams, in the second half, and he's running away from goal as well. So try and wrap your body around it, wrap your instep around it, get the pace, the accuracy to beat the keeper. Really tough.
Fernandes, who scored against Poland and Scotland in the league phase. This time, Roberto Martinez won a trophy. It was the FA Cup in England with Wigan Athletic. Can he get a trophy tonight? His team have got to defend here.
Portugal played themselves. They're trying to play out from the back. It's a poor pass from Ruben Dias. Nuno Mendes is on his heels. Yamal's in front of him, so then he's wrong side of him, the defender. And as he has to try and get the buggers across his man, he clearly catches the man before the ball, but they have the ball, Portugal, and just risky playing out from the back when Spain are going to press you.
Barcelona buddies, Pedri and Lamine Yamal standing over this one. There's Yamal, headed up in the air by Nelson Semedo. Hard work from Cucurella to win it from Ronaldo Silva. Portugal have made 2 substitutions at half-time, getting ready to make another double swap here with 20 minutes of the 90 to go. Williams, Pedri, Zubimendi to Mingueza. Mingueza, one of the 2 changes in the Spain team tonight compared to the side that started the semi-final. Williams looking for Pedri. Nuno Mendes alert, sharp, needed to be. Bruno Fernandes to Ronaldo. Vitinha. Spain have got to get back now. Ronaldo Silva. Nelson Semedo. Straight at the keeper.
Just needs to pull that ball back. He's got Ronaldo in there. Pedro Neto made a move towards the far post as well. And it all starts actually the link play from Ronaldo on the halfway line. Gets himself into a good striking position in the 6-yard box. Just Semedo, who'd covered a lot of ground to get the cross in. Just couldn't wrap his foot around it, pull it away from the goalkeeper.
In a tight Nations League final in Munich. I mentioned Portugal were preparing a double substitution. Spain now also preparing fresh legs. Cucurella in ahead of Nelson Semedo. This is Williams. And the offside flag rises. Nico Williams was offside. This break in play will allow both coaches to make alterations here. Renato Vega, who played his club football in Italy for the second half of this past season with Juventus. They're on loan from Chelsea. He's going to come on in place of Gonzalo Inacio. Inacio, remember, who's on a yellow card. Roberto Martinez perhaps bearing that as part of his calculations. Big cheers for the Spanish fans in the background because they've just noticed their team's about to bring on a bit of power themselves. Bernardo Silva making way for Rafael Leao, the AC Milan winger.
Yeah, Pedro Neto will switch out to the right-hand side and Leao will play on his natural left.
Big cheer for the return of Isco. Really good season with Betis for the former Real Madrid man. He scored 12 goals this past campaign to force his way back into the international picture. Back in the squad after an absence of 6 years, Isco, as Mikel Merino also comes on for the European champions. Ronaldo, who scored in the semi-final against France on Thursday. Any little misplaced pass now is going to feel consequential as the clock ticks on and we enter the final 15 minutes of the regulation 90. Leao. Immediately surrounded but then fouled by Lamine Yamal.
This finals really continued the theme that we've seen in these finals. That's what, 18 goals now in the games that we've had. Just how positive every side has been, looking to score goals, looking to entertain. It's been brilliant.
Vitinha, Ruben Neves, Nelson Semedo. Nations League final, which could come down to stamina, could come down to concentration now. There's still the possibility that it could be a moment of brilliance that decides it. Lenoma. Marino, fresh legs. Williams. Semedo backpedaling. Lamine Yamal. This is his kind of range!
I think you remember that goal he scored from a very similar position here against France when he kind of bent it rather than just strike it and go for power. He goes for power here. I think again you lose the accuracy, try it down the goalkeeper's throat. It would have been better maybe just trying to score a similar goal, try and get that arcing strike, whip it towards that far top corner.
Correa's header, neat and tidy for Spain. Isco. Doing some serious pressing down there. We don't often see that from Cristiano Ronaldo, who likes to conserve his energy, but perhaps realising it really is needed now. Isco. A great pass out towards Williams, come out. One back for Portugal by Pedro Neto. Ronaldo Vega. Got away with that one. Nuno Mendes. Pass it towards his Paris Saint-Germain colleague Vitinha.
I'm not sure why Nuno Mendes is passing that crossfield. Just keep driving forward. There's space there. So athletic, dynamic. Just drive forward yourself.
Vitinha. Ruben Neves. Interesting to see now the effects that Rafael Leao can have to this Portuguese attack. Here he is. Hanging it in there. Cucurella. No margin for error. Puts it out for a Portuguese corner with 12 minutes of normal time to play.
It's brilliant defending. The left back round on the cover. If that doesn't happen, you've got attackers coming in at the far post. His positioning is brilliant. It's so important. He just steps inside that far post and is there to clear the danger.
The referee just trying to keep the peace inside the penalty area. As Pedro Neto waits. Bruno Fernandes is going over to Pedro Neto here. Change of idea.
Portuguese coaching staff screaming at Bruno Fernandes to deliver the ball in.
To On the other end of the field, this is Diogo Costa.
I might be wrong, but I just wonder whether it's Jose Sá, one of the Portuguese goalkeepers, just had a word with Diogo Costa, time to go down, so maybe the staff can have a chat about this set piece. Ronaldo there getting on the end of that deflected cross, doing what he's done so well for so many years. But I think with the goalkeeper going down here, just gives Roberto Martinez, the coach, a chance to get those Portuguese players over and just have a word with them before this set piece is taken.
Who's advising who? Costa, who made history at Euro 2024 last year, became the first goalkeeper to ever save 3 penalties in a European Championship finals shootout. That was against Slovenia the last 16. Still a chance tonight he could be involved in another penalty shootout here in Munich. Right, after all that, corner time. Sent in by Bruno Fernandes. Flashed close to Ronaldo Vega. Here is Lamine Yamal. Deliberately fouled by Pedro Neto there, who at all costs he wanted to ensure that the 18-year-old didn't get away from him there.
Yeah, he knows what's coming. Once that ball is shifted and he's away, he takes one for the team by taking out Yamal.
Lots of injury problems in his career, Pedro Neto. It's great to see him getting a real run of fitness these days. Tried to do just that. Here is Isco. Great attempt, but what a save! Diogo Costa keeps the game at 2-2.
It's wonderful athleticism. He's just moving his feet as well, the goalkeeper, anticipating where the shot's really going to end up. And that ball is moving back towards him, but it's still a brilliant save. That's what Isco can provide. That creativity, that attacking brilliance. Goalkeeper matches it.
12 international goals for Isco. It's a long time since his most recent one. Crossed in by Yamal. Some clumsy collisions there inside the 6-yard box, where the free kick has been given to Portugal.
Once the cross gets deflected, Portugal have real problems at the far post. They're just about doing enough this. All their defenders, all their players are goal side. The Spanish players. Mikel Merino's going to actually get to that ball.
Mikel Merino into the back of Ruben Neves and was forcing him then onto the outstretched leg of his teammate Rafael Leao. But Ruben Neves, made of tough stuff, he's quickly back up to his feet. One mistake now could decide this final. One moment of inspiration could decide this final. Isco, surely offside. Oyatabo will play on. Oh, acrobatically saved by Ronaldo Vega. There's no way it would have counted anyway, but he had to be sure.
Well, the defender, as you say, you can't presume the flag's going to go up. He's clearly offside. That ball is flicked goals, but the defender, the instincts kick in, defends brilliantly. And of course, he didn't need to bother, but he did the right thing. His instincts were good.
It's Mingueza, helped out by Yamal. Oh, and Yamal's done really well here against Nuno Mendes. Vitinha comes across and fouls it. Free kick to Spain.
It's hard work from Yamal to get the ball back. There's an opportunity actually for João Neves to actually clear the ball out. He misses that opportunity. That then draws Vitinha across, who eventually gives the free kick away. Of course, defensively, both sides, that's what they have to be really careful of, is the dynamic counter-attacks, because both sides have got that capability.
There will be stoppages to be added on. Well, we are into the last 5 minutes of the 90 now. Spain have twice in the lead. Portugal have twice come back at them. Ruben Neves pumping it in front of Ronaldo. Unai Simon plays sweeper-keeper for Spain. Zubimendi. Isco. It's foul by Vitinha. Discipline so important now in this closing stretch. Hausen. Cucurella. Well picked out. Isco. Picked up some good positions, Isco, since his introduction. Now he looks for Lamine Yamal. Cut out, however, by Nuno Mendes. Layout, couldn't return it to him.
Well, you mentioned Isco there. It's a variety of positions that he's picking up. At times he's dropping deep to get the ball into his feet. At times he's joining the attacking line inside Oyarzabal. So that's the problem for Portuguese defensively against him, is you're never really sure where he's going to be.
Portugal ready to bring on another of their recent Champions League winners. Gonçalo Ramos, who won 4 trophies this past campaign with Paris Saint-Germain. Might it be Ronaldo who makes way?
Just look at that goal again. It is so clever. Just that little nudge he gives Cucurella, just to maybe take him out of the equation. It's not a foul. It's just really clever striking play, just to open up some space for yourself to tuck the ball home.
Tonight, cap number 221 for the incomparable Cristiano Ronaldo. He departs, having played a critical role in dragging Portugal back level. Now, can they go on to win it without him? The captain's armband passed on to Bruno Fernandes. As Gonçalo Ramos comes on for what's left of the 90 and maybe all of extra time.
Well, Portugal have won trophies with Cristiano Ronaldo on the sidelines as a cheerleader, so is his influence going to be from the technical area rather than from on the pitch now?
It's Ronaldo, who famously had to go off injured very early in the Euro 2016 final. Tonight, at the age of 40, he has played almost the full 90 minutes. It was perhaps sensible from Portugal, as much as they would love to have Ronaldo on the pitch. 120 minutes would be asking an awful lot at this level for a man inside his 5th decade now.
I just wonder psychologically, does that affect Portugal with their talisman going off? Does that give Spain a lift? Very possibly.
As the elder statesman makes way, the young buck hopes he may still shine in this Nations League final. Foul on Ramos, who's just come on.
It has been a fascinating final so far. 2 different really approaches from the teams, but it'll certainly take another half an hour if that's what we get.
One of those nights where nobody inside the Munich Arena is heading towards the exits early. Take all of this they could get. Neves. Which of these neighbours from the Iberian Peninsula can finish this final the strongest? 90 minutes almost done. We're about to see what's going to be added on. Leao. It's back from Nuno Mendes. Accelerates. Down he goes. It's going to be another booking. The card count increases in Munich. Now this is a dangerous position for a Portuguese free kick.
It's just fantastically dynamic, little give and go. Suddenly you've got a winger, full pace at a centre-half who's been drawn out of position. That's not where the man really wanted to be against a flying winger. Just had no answer. Yeah, was past him before he could make a decent challenge. What an opportunity this is.
2-2 on the scoreboard. Just 2 minutes to be added on. Any goal now would surely prove to be the winner. Fernandes. Acrobatically touched away by Simon. Any touch at all ahead of him would have caused consternation. It was drilled in by Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, the keeper had to get there, but once he makes contact, could have bounced off anybody. This could have gone anywhere. He's never going to catch it. He's looking to parry it. He's slightly fortunate.
Header by Ruben Diaz. So often he is the lighthouse standing amid the storm at the back of the Portuguese defence. Housen. Yamal. That's it, the final action of 90 minutes. This Nations League final, 4 goals, but they cannot be separated in regulation time. It will be extra time, and both teams will believe that they could go and win it from here. Zubimendi and Oyarzabal for Spain, Nuno Mendes and Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal. Might there still be someone else to step up and grab the headlines here tonight? For now, with extra time to come in Munich, it is Portugal 2, Spain 2.
Extra time in the UEFA Nations League final. And why not? Because we haven't seen enough football this season on beIN Sports. A little extra just to get us through to the end of this season, but it had to be Ronaldo, of course, with that equaliser.
Hold his goal.
Hold his goal.
I think he didn't show that much in this game in the first half, first of all, and even more in the second half, but that's the goal. He wanted really to score, and it's not easy goal to put in the net, you know. He went through Cucurella, put his foot and find the exact position to score the goal. He's there. He's going to always be there until he's there. And it's fantastic to see that he has this resilience to continue even when they were not ahead in the game.
And what about your guy, Adler? Nuno Mendes.
Yeah.
Wow, first half a goal and then...
unbelievable player. I think for me, he's man of the match. He can score, he can dribble, he can defend, he had a good block on Pedri shot. He's been a fantastic player and amazing. I love him, to be honest. He's a top player in this position. Yeah.
And you know what? I don't know if after the game we're going to talk about him. It's the first time that I see Lamine Yamal not having a goal at a left back. Like he knows it's going to be too difficult. Do you understand? I've seen in every single game Even if he doesn't, he's not well, he will go. In La Liga, in Champions League, against Inter, against every, except today. I've never seen Lamine Yamal since he started football to be, I don't know, scared, but not having to go because he knows he's not gonna pass. That's the way Nuno Mendes is so powerful. He just was tremendous against Salah, against Bukayo Saka, now against Lamine Yamal. So there's a few factors now that he installed in some of the best right winger in the world. So well done to him, and as well, he can score and can assist as well. Yeah.
Well, I like it. With the attacking talent you've got on the pitch, we're talking about a left back, and that's good for football, guys. It is. We need to celebrate every position in all its glory. Goalkeepers, Thiago Costa, Unai Simon. If it does go to penalties, okay, we're off. Let's head back to our commentators. Here's Andy Hinchcliffe, Conor McNamara.
Highest order. Yeah, as we go into extra time, there's probably more nerves amongst the fans of both nations rather than the players. You look at the players out there, and they're all, again, top-class players. They've all been through pressurised situations before, so they're used to being calm and getting through and getting a job done. I think the fans will be very nervous. They'll love to win it, but they'll be afraid that their team in this extra time period could lose it.
Right, deep breath, fasten your seatbelts, here we go. Gonzalo Ramos of Paris Saint-Germain, who's come on just before this extra time period. 18 goals for Paris Saint-Germain this season. Only Dembele and Barcola scored more for the quadruple winners. Can he add different element than Ronaldo was providing, albeit with the goal scored in the 90 minutes?
For the neutral, really, you want the tempo to stay high. You can see tempos dropping in added time, but I think with all the substitutes that have come on, hopefully, fresh players, they'll keep that urgency high.
Ruben Neves has inserted himself in between the two central defenders. This is Renato Vega. Didn't play at all in the semi-final.
Ruben Neves does that to encourage Nelson Semedo to maybe step into central midfield for Nuno Mendes then to break forward. So he drops into the back line, they become a defensive three, and the fullbacks become dangerous attackers stepping up the pitch.
Mikel Moreno, challenged by Bruno Fernandes as Portugal get it back. Leao. Isco in pursuit. Minqueza ahead of him. Leao's been able to deliver. And it's Zubimendi who clears without much ceremony there.
Just mentioned there with Ruben Neves dropping into the back line, Nelson Semedo stepping into midfield. It was he who actually got the ball back in there and played it forward to a fullback stepping into central midfield to affect the play.
Here is Vitinha. What a successful campaign he's had at club level. And they put the cherry on top tonight. International honours too. Nuno Mendes, who's been a joy to watch this evening. Oh, he's in around the back again. Fed by Leao. And just off target from Nelson Semedo. Never scored an international goal. Portugal perhaps wishing that chance fell to somebody else.
Yeah, just discovered the two players I just mentioned about stepping out of the back line to affect the game. He actually plays the ball, left foot onto his right knee, so just completely mistimes it.
Another double change for Spain. It's the final action tonight for Nico Williams, who's run his socks off. Alex Baena and Pedro Porro, the two who come on. So Porro replaces Oscar Minqueza, Celta Vigo right back. Season for his club Villarreal 16 goal involvements during the campaign. Can he help to orchestrate something for Spain here tonight?
I'm just going back to that Nelson Semedo miss. He is a right back, remember. I know he's an international footballer, but he's taken the shot on with his weaker left foot, so that's maybe why he missed times. It might have been better adjusting his body and trying to use his right instep.
It's a good ball. Interesting from Harrison. Looking for Baena. And it's fallen here for Cucurella. Baena. Isco. Great desire for Portugal to win it back. Scored in 2 of Spain's last 3 games. Very much a goal threat, particularly from set pieces, the Arsenal player. Harrison. Isco. Played it short just as Baena was going long. It's a foul of Nelson Semedo. And it's a free kick to Portugal. Ronaldo Vega. It's fallen for Leao. Mendes, it was up to Leao. Marcelo Ramos waiting patiently in the Ronaldo role in the centre.
I mentioned about the substitutes coming on and keeping the energy levels high. Rafael Leao has certainly done that for Portugal down that left-hand side.
Ruben Diaz to Vitinha. Ruben Neves. Vitinha scanning the horizon, weighing up the options. Here's Pedro Neto. Nelson Semedo. Just tried to check back Pedro Neto. The referee's assistant was right beside that. Jonas Erni. And he was satisfied that there wasn't a foul. The reason the referee has stopped play is because Pedro Neto intimating he's got a head injury.
I don't think Baena does an awful lot wrong. It's a painful one maybe for Neto, certainly no foul. The referee again, you can't take a risk if a player goes down holding his head. You can understand why the referee feels you've got to be careful.
The coiled spring looking on. Judged by Nuno Mendes, but now he's given it away. Zubimendi. It's excellent at doing that, just releasing himself from the shackles. Lamine Yamal. Isco. The two combine again. Just hanging in towards Oyarzabal. That's not a great clearance by Renato Vega, and Cucurella couldn't keep it down.
Yeah, he just snatches at the chance he has. The opportunity just to feed the ball out to his left, to Baena in space, but just sits up so temptingly. It's underneath his feet, and his balance isn't there. It's never going to hit the target.
A good goal-scoring season for a left-back this past campaign. Marco Correa, 7 goals for Chelsea. He's team of the Premier League in England. Best scoring campaign of his career so far. And he'll be disappointed he didn't get a slightly better connection there.
They're going to stand in a game like this, an opportunity like that. You're maybe going to try and have a swipe at it, but the ball was never sitting in the right position to be finished effectively.
Straight from Leao, and he draws the foul from Pedro Porro. Portugal just has to take that free kick again because the ball was in motion. Stick a twist. Do they want this to go to penalties? Do they believe they can win it, either of them, in 120 minutes? That's the midway point already of the first half of extra time here at the Munich Arena. Renato Vega. Leao to Nuno Mendes. What a great first touch that is. And he's got plenty of red to Kazan in field. On he goes himself. Down he goes. No penalty. Oh, it's all kicking off in the aftermath of that. Surge from Nuno Mendes into the penalty area. Now, first and foremost, the video assistant referee is going to check whether it was or not a spot kick, and then the officials are going to have to deal with what happened in the aftermath. This could take some time.
Just unbelievably dynamic from Nuno Mendes. Remember how long we've been playing. He absolutely surges past Mikel Merino, and it's moving at such pace, any contact on him, and it could be a penalty. So a lot for VAR and for the referee to sort out here.
As well as the penalty check, there is a review of the aftermath and whether it might be worthy of a red card.
Well, I don't see any obvious contact there on Nuno Mendes. Is he actually fouled at any point here that the ball gets away from him? I think there's maybe a touch on his toe, but the exaggerated way in which he falls really tells you that's not a foul.
So they seem to have moved on from the penalty check. Agree with that, that's not a spot kick. But then in what kicked off afterwards, has anyone done anything serious enough to merit a dismissal? Today, Sam, still looking at the images now. We're getting confirmation. Check is over, check complete. No red cards. 100 minutes played on this Bavarian night in Munich. And it is still up for grabs who is going to be taking home the Nations League trophy. That's what started it all. Then the response. But anyway, they looked at it, they've analysed it, nothing worthy of a red card, and so we continue.
Yeah, of course, if there is a red card offence in there, you have to deal with it. I think it's good for the game, and what's left of the game, that the team hasn't been reduced, or both teams haven't been reduced by one.
3 yellow cards each. Inacio's gone off. Nuno Mendes and Pedro Neto for Portugal. Len Norman, Fabian Ruiz, and now Alex Baena for Spain. Feels critical at this juncture that neither of these teams go down to 10. Here's Leao. He's been a real breath of fresh air since coming on. Look at him go! Just about stopped at the very end by Pedro Porro.
Now, if you're looking at players to introduce an injection of pace and direct running, you've got Nuno Mendes, Rafael Leao. It's Portugal who've got those type of players. I think Pedro Porro recovers ever so well to get back goal side and get the toe on the ball.
Well, you cannot hear yourself thinking here now. This Nations League final has become a cauldron. In the 102nd, almost 103rd minute. Taken short. Leao. Just went through to Pedro Neto, but another Pedro Porro was having none of that. Yamal unable to feed the pass to Isco, and Leao will get a chance to run at the penalty area again. Yamal with a challenge. It's deemed to be a foul. It's a free kick to Portugal.
It's brilliant positioning initially from Vitinha because the break was on from Spain. He picks off the ball. I think it's just maybe the nature of the challenge. Once he gets off his feet, that is maybe the problem. He maybe catches a little bit of Leao before he gets the ball, but again, the exaggerated way that Leao goes to ground maybe just makes the referee's mind up. But the game just starting to stretch, starting to open up.
They've got to take risks, the pair of them. They don't want to make errors. Seconds to go until half-time in extra time. Bruno Fernandes hoisting it in. There's no one on the edge of the 6-yard box to finish. Baena clearing for Spain. Back in by Pedro Neto. And the diving header from Nuno Mendes, it wouldn't have counted. He was offside.
That's an inventive free kick. Just brilliant defensive positioning by Baena. It's questionable whether he was offside actually, but the free kick, Bruno Fernandes really clever. Ball across the 6-yard box by Baena. In just the right place to clear the danger.
Lamine Yamal, Mikel Merino. Remember, Spain scored just ahead of half-time during the normal regulation. 90 minutes, could they score just ahead of half-time here in extra time? For the moment, they must retreat. Isco. Porro. Lenormand. Yamal. Field of Nuno Mendes, lays it to Marino. Bruno Fernandes briefly with a touch, but he can't get it back. Yamal straight to the keeper.
That's certainly got the power, hasn't it? Just not the accuracy. Well, the goalkeeper wanted it.
There will be 1 minute added on for stoppages ahead of half-time in extra time. Just one moment like that, one snapshot from a player like Lamine Yamal could be very decisive in this UEFA Nations League final. Ruben Diaz. Cucurella did want to keep it in. Ramos. Isco. It's very scrappy now. Porro held his nerve, aware of the onrushing Leao in his peripheral vision. Leao here is giving it away to Baena, and that is half-time in extra time. 2-2 it remains. This Nations League final still very much up for grabs, and we could now be 15 minutes away from a penalty shootout to decide it. Could still be Lamine Yamal's night. He is waiting for a bit of magic to arrive in those boots. He's got 15 minutes more to try and produce something special. Spain, who were twice in front, Portugal have twice come back. 2-2. It remains in Munich for now.
It's probably the typical first half of extra time. We might well get it in the second half as well. There's flashes of quality, lots of nervousness as well. You expect that when you consider what's at stake.
The end of a long, hard season. Two nations ready to give it one last big push. The record of Luis de la Fuente, quite remarkable really. You consider he's coming to the job, taking over from Luis Enrique. What he's gone on to achieve. Winning the Nations League, winning Euro 2024. Now maybe on the cusp of winning a second Nations League title. You know, there's No head coach in international football who's ever won the first 3 major tournaments that they took part in a row. No one's ever done it before.
I think he's benefited with having worked with a lot of these players at junior level as well, so he knows a lot of them, so they know him as well, so that helps when you're getting into the senior international team. A lot of the players know the coach really well.
Interesting change this one. Yeremy Pino is coming on in place of the boy wonder. Lamine Yamal, 17 years of age. His work is done for tonight. Yeremy Pino, the Villarreal winger, who didn't play in the semi-final, comes on for the closing stages here. For very different reasons, Portugal have taken off their superstar Ronaldo, and Spain have taken off Lamine Yamal, but there's a synergy to it. 2 players at different ends of their career.
Yeah, I think Ronaldo ran out of steam, was possibly injured, but Lamine Yamal, we know what a talent he is, but he's not really affected this game. He's involved in the Zubimendi goal, but apart from that, he's not been that consistent threat. I think Nuno Mendes has got the better of him during the course of the game, so it's not that surprising a change, really, when you consider his age and football he's played this season.
Diogo Jota, who had a very successful campaign in England under Arne Slot, winning the Premier League title with Liverpool. He comes on in place of Pedro Neto. We've got to go back to this month last year for the last time Diogo Jota scored an international goal. Back underway for the second half of extra time, what has been an enthralling Nations League final so far. Hausen, Zubimendi, Baena to Cucurella, Isco to Moreno. Hausen. It's a good ball. Zubimendi worked out to Cucurella. Alex Baena. Nice footwork from Moreno. There's danger written all over that for Spain, and Portugal haven't got it clear yet. Moreno. Lenormand. Pino. As a right winger, Yeremy Pino has been very much in the shadow of Lamine Yamal in recent times. He's the opportunity here to put himself centre stage. Isco ushered back and away by Diogo Jota. Here's Cucurella. Portugal's hunger retrieves possession. Vitinha. Clever little flick from Gonzalo Ramos. It was very inventive and he executed it perfectly. Now, Leao. Pina comes across. And the full-blooded nature of this Nations League final continues. Diogo Costa's heart was in his mouth for a moment there.
I'm sure for the goalkeeper, when he strikes it, he thinks that's nowhere near. But the more the ball travels, I think the goalkeeper gets more and more nervous. It was audacious from Pedro Porro, but it was the right choice. Keeper is off his line. Probably would have got back there if it had been on target, though.
Pedro Porro, who scored 4 goals for his club, Tottenham Hotspur, in England this past season. He's never scored an international goal. That would have been quite the manner to open your tally for your country. Hausen. It's a situation that calls for cool heads now. Ice in veins. Hausen's given it away to Vitinha. Good work from Baena though. When Spain do make a mistake, very regularly there's someone else there to rectify it immediately. Baena. Oyathabal. Porro. Decided to play it in with power. Ruben Neves was well located. Leao gets away from Porro. That's going to be another yellow card, is it? Leao was about to step on the gas and accelerate away. And Pedro Porro enters the referee's notebook too.
Well, this is the problem, because Pedro Porro is a forward-thinking fullback, so he had got forward. His cross was picked off, and then suddenly he realises Rafael Leao is the wrong side of him. So he does the right thing in sprinting to try and get back, but you make a challenge running behind a player like Leao and you catch him, you know you're going to get booked.
Making up for lost time. He wasn't included in Spain's Euro 2024 winning squad last year. So he's still Fuente. Makes another change here. Mikel Oyathabal, who scored the goal that put Spain 2-1 up in regulation time. He's now replaced by one of the stalwarts, Alvaro Morata, who scored against Portugal the last time these sides met. Finding him really tough to tangle with. Down goes Lenormand, pushed by Leao. Free kick to Spain.
That's good work by Pino actually, because he feels he has to make the challenge here and he has to get it right. It's a good fortune now getting away, but Pino back in a good position. That challenge is timed beautifully. Definitely gets his foot on the ball. If he gets that wrong, he gets a booking.
It's not often that Lamine Yamal has to look on from the sides, willing his teammates to find one big moment, to capture something in what is remaining of this Nations League final. Headed by Marino. Touch for Morata. What a CV Alvaro Morata has. He's been playing in Turkey this past season with Galatasaray. Former Real Madrid, Juventus, Chelsea, Atletico Madrid player. And up against Cristiano Ronaldo 20 times in the past. Ramos unable to control under pressure from Hausen. Isco. Not a bad ball at all. Nuno Mendes was able to just about get in front of Yeremy Pino. Yeremy Pino, that could have been the biggest moment of his career so far.
Yeah, the ball is slightly overhit and he is underneath it. So unless you time your jump perfectly, it's always going to skim off the top of your head. But I just think there's much more urgency from Spain in the second period. Portugal, I felt, were the better team in the first period of extra time. Spain looked to have kind of stepped the tempo up.
Renato Vega. Vitinha. Who's got the energy in the legs? Who's got the lung capacity? Touch from Isco. Pino. Marino. Vitinha battling in there, gets it back for Portugal. But the pass just not the right angle to pick out Leao.
Pass is probably the right idea, but Pedro Porro is very quick as well. I know Leao's quick, but the starting position from the right back, and there's no way Leao was going to get in behind him.
Zubimendi. Nelson Semedo gets it back for Portugal. Each team now hoping they're going to get one last big chance. There's nothing fancy from Ruben Diaz. Puts it out for a Spanish throw. Just over 5 minutes to go. Straight at Ronaldo Vega, and that is the definition of a no-nonsense clearance from the Juventus man.
Baena has really shifted off that left-hand side. Cucurella's doing the job, providing the width down that side. Baena's now playing a lot more centrally.
Cucurella. Zubimendi. Isco. Baena. Clever idea. Porro was on his wavelength, but nobody at the back post for Spain. Nelson Semedo had time to take it down and clear.
It's a brilliant cross from Pedro Porro. Maybe it's just tiredness. A ball in like that really deserves at least one yellow shirt to be attacking it.
Deflection on the way through. Vitinha reacted well. This is Mikel Merino. Such an atmosphere of tension inside the Munich arena now. Isco. Pino. Uses Porro as a decoy. Now Morata. Foul committed in the attempts by Isco to get there ahead of Ruben Diaz. He's fouled the Manchester City defender.
Brilliant from Ruben Diaz. At this stage of the game, defenders in their own 6-yard box. Must be tiring, labouring. He was so sharp there, physically, mentally. Right place, right time.
For both coaches now, they know they are within touching distance of the trophy, but they are also perilously close to going home from Munich empty-handed. Mendes launching towards Diogo Jota, hooked away by Porro. Morata, sharp. Down goes Isco, fouled by Bruno Fernandes. Spain having an awful lot of possession in this second half of extra time. As we know in football, it's not how much of the ball you have, it's what you do with it. Portugal will still feel there could be a counter-attacking opportunity coming their way. Here is Zubimendi. tonight. Zubimendi, Cucurella. So the blues ringing in his ears all evening, and such satisfaction for him if he can walk off this pitch as a winner tonight. 90 seconds of 120 minutes to go. Marino, clever ball, but well anticipated by Diogo Costa. He's had a good week here in Germany as the Porto goalkeeper.
Just really in the danger because outfield players ahead of him caught with the ball watching there, but his positioning was reactive. His reaction to that forward ball was absolutely excellent.
Throw-in's gone to Portugal. They were all appealing for it. Last touch off Pedro Porro. Vitinha. Clock is ticking. Penalty shootout looming. Ruben Diaz. Ronaldo Vega. Fourth official's about to hold up the board to tell us what's to be added on. Oh, it's the solitary minute. Could be now or never. Vitinha. Nelson Semedo. Vitinha. Ruben Diaz has a look. High and hopeful, Diogo Jota. Is that to be the last chance from open play tonight?
It's a little bit too easy for Ruben Diaz to deliver, and it is a chance, just mistimes the jump. That's why the ball goes up and over and not down under the crossbar. I suppose these finals have been absolutely brilliant. I suppose a penalty shootout in the final, would that be a fitting way to complete the drama of the last 5 days?
The referee blows the whistle, and 120 minutes of football has failed to separate two very impressive sides. The neighbours from the Iberian Peninsula draw 2-2 in Munich, and we will have a penalty shootout to decide who takes home the trophy. Oyarzabal and Zubimendi for Spain, Ronaldo and Nuno Mendes for Portugal. Portugal 2, Spain 2, ahead of the shootout.
Well, it's going all the way to a penalty shootout in Munich. Perfect ending for this drama-fueled Nations League campaign, which has been nothing short of entertaining. Diogo Jota there with an opportunity, and everyone will be asking if Ronaldo was on the pitch, would that have been in the back of the net? Oh, here we go, goalkeeping coach. With very precise instructions by the looks of things.
Yeah, these days this makes the difference with all those analysis and statistics where the takers shoot their penalty and if they score, if they put in the left on the right. But this is 50-50 now. Actually, there is no team really who can excel in this exercise. And I think the goalkeeper will be a big factor to win. We saw Unai Simon, who did really well against France in the semi-final, so it will be crucial for Spain.
Look how many people surrounding Costa. Who do we fancy, Simone or Costa?
Wow, for Spain, we had penalties against Netherlands,
Croatia, yeah, in the in the last final, 2023?
Oh yeah. No, I was in the semi-final against Netherlands. I think Spain. It was so Yamal took it. I think it was Pedri as well.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the final.
No,
last
sorry,
time
Nikki. I was talking about the last one. So they've seen a little bit of penalty for Portugal. Who do I fancy? A little bit more Portugal. The fact that they were leading twice Spain, so sometimes you know the momentum how it is, but you never know in that. They analyze the penalties so well now. Sometimes they go back 2 or 3 years before. So
now they won the toast.
Yeah.
So they're going to be on the Portuguese side. Huh?
No Ronaldo. No Yamal. Who's got the better penalty takers? Who's got the cooler heads for who's left on the pitch?
I think Fernandes is one of the best takers in the world. He knows how to be calm and find the right side in the last moment. And he has a special way of taking the penalty. But for sure, you have Nuno Mendes as well.
Yeah.
He's a good one.
Silva,
Pedri,
not bad.
Pedri, Cucurella. All good to take penalty. Well, let's see Morata. It's going to be interesting because his experience in this situation, he's been there many times.
Who are we going for?
Still for me, Portugal, I think. Because
Still holding out on Portugal. Didier?
well, maybe the momentum changed. You know, I would go for Spain because I was with Spain in the beginning, but I just feel like Portugal maybe they can do it.
Okay, let's rejoin our commentary team for the shootout and head back to Munich.
This is the UEFA Nations League final in Munich, and it has come down to this. Gonzalo Ramos scores! An emphatic start for the Portuguese.
I always feel it's slightly risky when you go for power and you go down the middle. You're hoping maybe the goalkeeper dives out of the way, and that's exactly what happens here. Normally players, when they try and pick out a corner, he doesn't, just goes for the smash down the middle. Someone dives out of the way.
Cristiano Ronaldo pleads for divine intervention. Mikel Merino steps forward to take the first penalty for Spain. This is his third Nations League final. Can he brush off the pressure? Merino! 1-1. The perfect response from Spain's point of view.
That's a beautiful penalty. That's whipped, side netting. Keeper has no chance even if he goes the right way, but the Portuguese fans behind the goal, it's so funny how quiet they were when Ramos took his, how noisy they were when Merino stepped up to take that. That is a real test of nerve, with that crowd baying for you to miss, to tuck it home so effortlessly.
Next cab off the rank, Vitinha. What a season this man has had. One of the stars of the show with Paris Saint-Germain in France, as they have won a quadruple, including the Champions League. Now, can he hold his nerve from 12 yards out? Vitinha strikes with conviction.
Yes, that slow approach, and then he just quickens up as he strikes the ball. The way that he strikes it, the way that he whips it, it's always moving away from the goalkeeper. It's a difficult height for a keeper to get to. It's a good penalty.
Fingernails being bitten. It's getting very serious now. Alex Baena of Villarreal. Another penalty of the highest quality. 4 successful kicks out of 4. as this Nations League final remains in the balance.
Outstanding penalties, all four. It's so difficult. You know you can put the ball into the back of the net. You're in international football. It's just, can you deal with the pressure? And all four so far have done that superbly.
Portugal's next penalty kick taker is Ronaldo, a specialist in this regard. 7 successful penalty kicks out of 7 at club level this season. And no one, including Cristiano Ronaldo, has ever scored more penalty kicks for Manchester United than Bruno Fernandes. Portugal keep their noses in front. Pressure. What pressure?
That's an unerring penalty, the way that he just kind of jumps into the ball as he strikes it. It's a technique that has served him ever so well. He just drops onto the ball. Again, it's into the side netting. It's pretty much unsavable, even if you do read what he's trying to do.
Well, wherever you're watching around the world, if perhaps you've gone up early this morning to watch this, maybe you're staying up late. This is sporting drama at its finest. Isco, the experienced Spaniard, to level things up again, but I'll tell you what, Diogo Costa got a glove to that. 3-3.
I think we could hear the slap. The keeper did get something on it, just couldn't keep it out, but as you mentioned, vastly experienced Isco. He's had a brilliant season with Betis. The goalkeeper actually really dives just past it and then can't get his arm back to keep it out. He's so unlucky.
3 successful penalties each, but with every scored spot kick, it just increases the pressure on the next players to follow. Nuno Mendes, another Champions League winner this season, one of the star players of this week in Germany at these Nations League finals. Can he deliver here? Short run up, but a scintillating finish, and Portugal lead again.
Well, being a left footer, that is the natural way you go. That's kind of the natural swipe of the ball, but if you lift it, you lift the ball, you run the risk of maybe flashing it over the crossbar, but this is just beautifully taken. Keeper dives the right way, but the height is the problem. Keeper's never going to get there. Bags of pace on it, swerving away from the keeper too.
Stepping forward for Spain on his 86th international appearance, Alvaro Morata. Shootout, and it is very much advantage Portugal now.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Such an experienced player. He really telegraphed where he was looking to strike that. It's a poor penalty. It's savable. And what an opportunity to win the title now.
This next kick could decide it. Can Portugal make it a perfect 5 out of 5? Ruben Neves. Portugal have won the Nations League final for 2025. Since Euro 2016, they have flirted with glory. Tonight, Portugal are bringing it home again.
You have to admire their resilience, their quality. Not many people really expect them to beat Germany, let alone beat Spain in the final, and they have shown it's not the amount of ball that you have, it's, again, can you stick the ball in the back of the net? You see what it means to a player who's won absolutely everything. This is what winning things for your country means.
Still running, still leading, still believing. Cristiano Ronaldo, a winner once again, a symbol of what happens when talent meets obsession, and obsession meets destiny. These Spanish players haven't felt defeat in a long, long time. This will hurt and it will sting. But this is not Spain's night. This evening in Munich belongs to Portugal.
I think we just have to remind ourselves, Portugal were a goal down to Germany, responded, won the game. They were behind twice in the final and came back. Ronaldo got that second equaliser, and they just stayed on in there. The penalties, all five of them were unerring, stunning from all those Portuguese players.
Well, Ronaldo didn't need this trophy to prove anything. He stopped needing that years ago. But football, like life, isn't always about proving. Sometimes it's about belonging. And Portugal will believe that they have earned their place on the top of the podium here. Lamine Yamal will know he's had glory already in his tender years, but he's got a long, long way to go to match the achievements of this guy.
It's a question whether anyone could get anywhere near the standards that Cristiano Ronaldo was set. And again, his passion, he came off, he'd have been disappointed that he didn't see the game out, but again, the support he has for his teammates, for his nation, it's just unquestionable. So again, he's such a great team player as well as one of the most wonderful individual players we've ever seen.
Disappointing night for Spain. So close to lifting a trophy for a third summer in a row. Luis De La Fuente's team will regroup. They will prepare for the World Cup in 12 months' time. But in this battle between the near neighbours, Portugal have outdone Spain. And after such a close, tight-knit final, it was the fifth kick of a penalty shootout, 5 out of 5 for Portugal, that sees them celebrate. And that etching sound will be music to Portuguese ears.
A strike, the final penalty.
To Portuguese ears.
A strike, the final penalty. So confidently struck from Ruben Neves. Never going to miss, never in any doubt. And composure and quality with that penalty, and that really sums up Portugal. They've never panicked when they've been behind. They keep coming back. That resilience, that quality, that belief in each other.
Another chapter to a book that we thought was already too epic to continue. If the story of Cristiano Ronaldo's life was fiction, it would have been turned down for being just outrageous and not possible. But he keeps showing up and he keeps collecting medals.
Portugal, of course, lift the trophy, but let's just, I think, flag up the Nations League as a concept, as a tournament. I think it's taken away kind of the meaningless friendlies and football that we've seen for years and years, and you can see what it means to these players to play in this tournament, and what we've seen in the finals here has been extraordinary. The positive football, the goals, the entertainment has been off the charts.
It's a Portuguese party in Munich. They have done it, beating Spain, the holders, in another Nations League final. They've now got 2 in the bag, and it's 3 trophies for Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal in his 22 years of playing and leading this national team. Astonishing. Adlin, Portugal, they've done it.
They've done it, I think.
You called it. Well done.
Yeah, we never sure, because to be honest, in this game it was 50-50 till the end, and the penalty shows that they wanted. The experience you mentioned at the beginning was really important, because they always concede the goal and they came back. You can see these two guys, they love each other a lot, but well done to Martinez. He's been progressing into the competition slowly. The quarter-final was fantastic. Semi-final was a big statement for Portugal. And this, to play against Spain and keeping scoring, coming back, is a great character, it seems.
That young man brought back down to earth today.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's done for the Ballon d'Or. If Dembele won the Champions League, actually, he's injured, but he's going to play the FIFA Club World Cup. It's but apart from that, when I've seen Yamal, I told you at the end of the game, I've never seen him like that. You can have a good game, a bad game, but he's always going to try, and he's always going to go at you. And there is a big factor now with Mendes. It's absolutely fantastic, what he did with Salah, what he did with Bukayo Saka, and what he did with Yamal now. He didn't have even just to defend. Is that Yamal didn't even want to try, so that's why we didn't see him that much. In the first half, okay, a little bit. That's why he was providing those small crosses who landed to the first goal, but. Apart from that, he was really, really shy, unfortunately. But he's only 17, huh? Don't forget about that. Its season was absolutely fantastic.
He'll learn from that one.
Yeah, for the Ballon d'Or, it was maybe, again, if you win that competition, the fact that he doesn't want it, that's for Dembele normally, yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Can we say with complete certainty now that this man, 40 years old, with all the hunger, desire, dedication, still very much has a part to play in this team?
He's an inspiration. Even if he's old and he's in advanced age, normally most of the players at his age will stop football and he's still there. He's still providing. Of course, he's not the same Ronaldo that we saw 10 years ago. But he scored the goals, and important goals. He runs in the right moment to not be offside, and he's in a good position to finish. And he brings that fear factor as well. When you play against Ronaldo, all the pressure goes to him, and sometimes you have players around him like Mendes, Joao Neves, all those players. They can excel and show that they are a big talent as well, but for sure Ronaldo is an inspiration, and we say frequency beat intensity, and he's the perfect example for that.
8 goals in 9 Champions League matches for Cristiano Ronaldo. He's now on number 938. We know the goal is 1,000 career goals. Morata. Had to be Morata, didn't it? The captain.
Unfortunately. We called it Mickey because, not we called it, we want him to fail. We don't want him to fail because we know all the sticks he gets in Spain, and I was very sorry for him. There's only one penalty miss, and that's him. So, wow, it would be again very difficult for him. But anyway, I don't know.
Against Italy in the Euros 2020. He just always looks like a player who's not brimming with confidence, doesn't he? He always looks like he's doubting himself, Morata.
Yeah, because it's not easy, when you have your own fans telling things about you. It's difficult for him and for his kids sometimes. I feel really sorry because he put a lot of effort. He's true. He's loyal to Spain. He won title with them. He can miss things sometimes, but he's a real servant for. And sometimes people they forget it. But anyway.
Well, let's hope the keyboard warriors keep themselves quiet, because it's not easy getting up and taking a penalty, especially when you haven't had too long on the pitch like he had. He wasn't warmed up like the rest of them, and we know that he struggled with mental health issues before and received online abuse, so we really don't want that for that player, who is still a great goal scorer in the league as well. Don't forget, he's often in double digits for his club, but we have to talk Portugal and Martinez, the manager, of course, who has stuck with Ronaldo with criticism, of course, and with people calling for him to develop and progress this young Portugal side, but he got his tactics right tonight against this Spain side.
I heard he said a week ago that he wants to win the World Cup. So it shows how ambitious he is, and he wants to put this in place. winning the Nation League is a good path and a good step for him to be able to prepare the World Cup. But he's been resilient manager for this Portugal team. You could see that they were not maybe the underrated team into this competition. We were expecting France, Germany, Spain, of course, but at the end it's Portugal, and he did his tactic right. I was a bit impressed in the last game against Germany when he had those 3 changes, and he did that again at half-time. He saw that João Neves was not fitted for his position, so he took Semedo in plus Ruben Neves, and this changed a little bit of the game. They had more control, more ball into the second part of the pitch, and they had more chances. They could have scored more than Spain, especially in the extra time, and this is where they bring Portugal in the top of Europe right now. So well done to him and to the players, and having Ronaldo as a talisman, kind of, it pays off sometimes.
Well, that just shows the players' attitudes towards the legend, the great, of course, maximum respect for Cristiano Ronaldo. And I suppose if you watch him in training and you watch him in real time and you see him in the gym and you see the way he lives and what he eats, been around him, you probably can't help but feel inspired as a young player.
Yeah, it's Cristiano is Cristiano. As a role model, we cannot say nothing, what he did in his career and what he's still doing. I'm still not a fan of playing him still now, because I've seen the Euro 2024.
I suppose you've just watched what PSG have done in the light of Mbappe leaving and becoming a team and a unit, and you see the potential.
Yes, I hope I'm wrong. It's just I think that without him, they would do even better. It's I know Martinez got 10 wins out of 10 for qualifier in the Euro 2024, and Cristiano scored 20 goals in the last 24. But I think this is the big competition that matters, and I'm still a believer just to let that generation just to grow.
Who comes in, Didier? Because we've just seen actually when he's come off injured, there isn't really a like replacement or someone who steps into that position, with Jota not really in goal scoring form, or Gonzalo Ramos at PSG.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Do they have someone to replace him in that position?
No, not really. Yeah, you're right. But I still feel that we'll see next year in the World Cup, because what matters was the Euro, and what matters is the World Cup. It's just that when I see him in the big competition, when it's really official, he's struggling physically. He's struggling because it's not the same motivation, it's not the same caliber, it's not the same. And I just felt that Anyway, we'll see, but I'm not a fan of and I'm a big fan of Cristiano, but I'm not a big fan just letting him. Yeah.
Will it be on his terms, Cristiano Ronaldo's terms, when he stops playing for Portugal, not any manager that comes in?
For sure, you cannot speak about football without mentioning Ronaldo. So, of course, when he wants to go, he will decide himself.
Does he decide when he starts? Does he decide when he comes off the pitch?
No, I don't think so. I think he has this fear factor because he's a big figure, and it's difficult to replace Ronaldo compared to any other player in the Portuguese team. But I believe that if they are intelligent enough, and he's going to be 41 when he's going to come to the World Cup in 2026. So this is the moment to tell him, look, you won a title tonight. It's another one for you, for your country, and it's not many who won 3 titles for Portugal. And this is the moment to manage you, to get you until the World Cup. We're not going to get there together. You will have some games, but you will not start every game, because I want to have the best of yourself, and the best of yourself sometimes is not playing all the games. but at the end, he still scores goals.
Yeah.
And this is what you need from a striker. And he's been crucial in those last 3 games between quarter-final, semi-final, and in the final here. So if you remove him, maybe you wouldn't get those goals, important goals. So this is a bit of dilemma for Martinez, because he might think that it's going to be something that's going to remove the aura inside the team.
But you know, when I talk about Cristiano, Nicky and Adlan, it's just what I've seen in the World Cup 2022 and at the Euro 2024. It's not about the qualification are here. And what matters is the big competition. And that's why I think they should have moved on.
Yeah.
Just to have more chances to win a big title. That was just because Portugal, when you look at all the players, first one is him, or Conceição, or a Vitinha. They will always create chances. So whatever you put up front, for me, he will score.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, Cristiano in the box, maybe he's got more flair and more movement. But in the big competition, in the last 2, I didn't see Cristiano. And I've seen him before. So that's my concern. You know, should we have moved on with Portugal? That's my question. Yeah?
There is their Spanish-born manager, of course, celebrating Portuguese legend in Pepe. Finished his international career aged 41, winning the Euros with them, of course, back in 2016. Warrior.
That's the word.
It is. You don't want to play against that guy, do you?
He could be in the Marvel.
Yeah. Maybe that's what he'll do next. But you must be delighted for your PSG boys, Didier, Vitinha, Mendes, Neves, Ramos. 8 days after winning the Champions League, they've gone back to Munich and picked up a 5th trophy of the season.
You know why I love them? Because they've got such an education. And when you see them at training, they are almost a role model. They play with so much passion. But at the same time, when you see them, wow, they're nice boys. And
this boy is...
Yeah, this boy especially. That's Adlan boy.
I mean, what a game he had. Scored, created one, perfect penalty, and had Yamal in his pocket.
That's the definition of the perfect game and the man of the match. He in one moment he has a good block as well. This is what impressed me, because of course he brings something forward and he scored and give an assist, kind of, but he had a good block in the right moment, and we didn't see Yamal at all. And what DJ said, and it's very important what you said, Salah, Yamal, Saka, all those players that they are the top player in their position, we didn't see them when they play against Mendes. So he's such a nice character, he's such a good player, and he has a little... Sometimes he can have a bit of few moments in the game that he can forget one thing or two, but he's a fantastic player, and I think he's the type of player that you might put him with Roberto Carlos, Marcelo, and if he continues like that, for sure he will be that type of pedigree.
And you know what? That the best dancer of Paris Saint-Germain team.
How did we discover that, Didier? How do we know this?
I've seen him in the footage. I said, no, this is no better than you. Even Luis Enrique was impressed. So that's just a joke, but he's a lovely lad as well. And he progressed a lot. Even he's taking corner now. Remember, he scored in Aston Villa, in Parc des Princes against Villa. So and he's only 22. Oh, imagine.
Coming back from a big injury before as well. Sometimes it's not easy to get back
there. They have worked wonders, haven't they, in Paris with these young stars. Okay, let's head back to our commentators for the trophy celebrations.
Both wanted this prize so badly. Spain collect their silver.
And of course, it's Portugal's night, but A lot of international teams around Europe, around the world, just be a little bit wary here. You pull a tiger's tail and there's a response, there's a reaction, and I'm expecting one, and a positive one from Spain.
Luis de la Fuente, who replaced Luis Enrique after the World Cup in 2022, came so close tonight to becoming the first ever international coach of a European team to win 3 competitions in a row at the start of his tenure. It feels very likely that this Spanish team will bounce back. I don't think we've heard the last of them by any means. Lamine Yamal, who arrived in this final, so much scrutiny around him, and Portugal paid extra attention to make sure that he would not be the one to shine.
Yeah, it was a big one-on-one battle, wasn't it? Lamine Yamal against Nuno Mendes, and it's pretty clear who came out on top. I'm not saying Yamal had a terrible game, but he just found it more difficult playing against one of the, arguably the best attacking left back in European football. So at 17, it's never all going to be straightforward, and he'll learn an awful lot from this. Spain will as a team, and he will as an individual.
He's got ballet in his boots. He's got venom in his vision. He is a young man, not yet 18 years of age. He's too young to rent a car, and yet he holds the steering wheel for this Spanish international team. Vindication for Roberto Martinez, who has bravely kept faith in the prowess of Cristiano Ronaldo. Many felt he should have moved the superstar on, but tonight this goes a long way towards proving the methods were correct.
Yeah, you look at the Portugal squad, and there's some great players in there, and you've got Ronaldo as well, but you've always said, well, any coach could get the job done, could win titles like this, but it isn't that easy. Against Germany and against Denmark getting here as well, certainly in the final, you've got to get your tactics right, you've got to get your substitutions right. The coach needs to get all his decisions right to win a game at this level, so give Martinez a huge amount of credit for getting the very best out of this Portugal squad.
Diogo Costa, penalty hero again in a shootout after his heroics here in Germany last summer at Euro 2024. Picture perfect moments for Pepe to collect and savour. Some Semedo, who came on as a sub in both the semi-final and the final. Some players who didn't get to kick a ball in anger at all, such as Antonio Silva there of Benfica. Conceição, who will remember his wonder goal against Germany in the semi-final. Dalot didn't get to play, but he does bring home a winner's medal. Rafael Leao playing a big part in the latter stages of this final. But having waited for the others to step forward, it is once again Cristiano Ronaldo who takes the centre stage. Power, panache. The Portuguese story is not about potential, it is about pedigree. The first team to win this competition twice. Portugal are the Nations League winners for 2025.
Still, 40 years old, lifting the silverware in the air. This time for Portugal, as they become the first team to win this one twice. They won the inaugural competition back in 2019. 6 years later, they are once again the winners. And as we've seen, this can be a wonderful springboard heading in to a major tournament. It was for Spain for the Euros. They went on to win it. What can Portugal do with this crop of players in the World Cup? A year and 2 days away, kicking off in Mexico, of course. This competition as a whole shouldn't be underestimated by national teams, because like we said, look at this feel-good factor, look at this, oh, don't drop it. Yeah, honestly, these guys with these trophies, honestly. They're so used to lifting them now, Didier.
Yeah.
He did this a week ago.
Yeah, he did this a week ago.
He might be drilled on the ribs because he's lifting too much trophy.
Yeah.